So chapter 11 is our introduction to algebra, although actually we've already dealt with some algebra in this course when we were looking at percentages and using x's. So algebra is really any time that you're using variables, which are letters to represent numbers. So let's start with 11.1, moving from arithmetic to algebra and starting to learn some of the vocabulary that we're going to use. So in arithmetic, we're only using numbers and we're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing those. In algebra, we're still using numbers, but letters known as variables are also being used. So you can think of a variable as a missing number. Often it's an X, but any letter or symbol can be used, and it's your unknown value. It's called a variable because it could change values and you would still have that equation or expression. So if we are going to add using algebra, we're going to have words like more than, increased by, sum, plus, and. So if we have the sum of a and 3, sum tells us we're adding, so that would be a plus 3. That's how we'd write that in math. L plus W then, we would write as L plus W. 5 more than M, we would write 5 plus M, or you could write M plus 5. Remember, addition is commutative, so both mean the same thing. And X increased by 7 would be X plus 7. So go ahead, pause the video and try the next couple, or the next three there. Let's do them together now. So 1 more than N would be 1 plus N, or you can write N plus 1. 6 increased by y is going to be 6 plus another y. And the sum of x and y would be x plus y. Moving into subtraction, we've got these following words to mean subtraction. So you might see difference, less than, minus, decreased by, or from. So for example, r minus s is r minus s in variables. Be careful here because order does matter this time. R minus S is not the same as S minus R. So R minus S, we had R, now we're minusing S from it, so that's how we get R minus S. The difference of M and 5 would be M minus 5. So if you see the word difference, the first number or variable listed there is going to appear first. So that's why here we have the M appearing first in M minus 5. X decreased by 8. So we had X, now we're decreasing it by 8. So it would be X minus 8. And then 4 less than A, we used to have A, now we have 4 less than A, so it would be A minus 4. So pause again and try the next three. And let's do those next three together now. So the difference of X and Y, X is mentioned first with the word difference, so it appears first, X minus Y. 7 decreased by X, so we had 7, then it was decreased by X, so that would be 7 minus X. And 3 less than R, we had R, now we have 3 less, so we have R minus 3. All right, moving on to multiplication. So you'll see words here like product, times, of, and by. So the product of 5 and A, we can write as 5 multiplied by A. That little dot there means multiply. We could also write that with the multiplication symbol, but I tend not to use it because you can confuse it with an X. And the other way we could write this is just 5A. 5A's is 5 multiplied by A, so we don't even really necessarily need that little dot there. 3 times 7, we would write as 3 times 7. Twice Z, well, we had Z, now we have 2 times it, so it's 2 times Z. The product of 2S and T would be 2 times S times T. And 4 more than the product of 6 and X, so now we're combining a little bit. Product is telling us we're multiplying. We've got 4 more than whatever this is. So let's start with this thing here. The product of 6 and X would be 6X. If we have 4 more, it's going to be what we have down here, 4 plus that 6X. So pause again and try the next three. And let's try those next three together now. So the product of x, 3, and y would be x times 3 times y. Usually we write the number out front, so I would write that as 3xy, or if you like to add the dots in just to emphasize you're multiplying, you're welcome to do so. 3 more than the product of 2 and z. So it's 3 more than whatever this is. So let's start with that thing in brackets. The product of 2 and z would be 2z, or 2 times z. So if we have 3 more than that, we would have plus 3. Okay, or I guess if I did it like your notes above, I would put the 3 plus on the other side. Either way, you'll get the same answer. You've got 3 more than whatever that 2z is. And twice y would be 2 times y, or feel free once again to write it with the dot. Okay, last one, division. So if you see words like divided by, quotient, the quotient is the answer of division, into, or per, those are telling you you're dividing. So if we have m divided by 3, the m's going to go on top, divided by 3. You might see it written like this too. Both mean the same thing, but a fraction's usually easier to work with. The quotient of a plus b and 5. So a plus b is on top and the 5 is on the bottom. R divided by s, r over s. The sum of p and q divided by the difference of p and q. So we have the sum of p and q, that's right here, and we're dividing that by the difference of p and q, which is down here. And the quotient, so that tells us we're dividing, when x minus y is divided by 7, ends up looking like this. So pause once again and try the next 3. And let's do those together now. So t divided by s would be t divided by s. The quotient of r minus c and 6, r minus c is going to be our numerator then, and 6 is our denominator. The difference of x and y divided by the sum of x and y. So the difference of x and y is x minus y, and we're dividing that by the sum of x and y, which is x plus y. Okay, lastly, let's look at what an expression means. So an expression is a meaningful collection of numbers, variables, and signs and operations. It does not have an equal sign. Let's say no equal sign. So there's some examples down below, like r plus x. Uh-oh. Let's go back there. Sorry about that. So there's some examples there, r plus x, xy plus 3x. Those make sense, and there's no equal sign. Or this next one, 5c plus 7b plus 8a. But this is not an expression, that final one, because it is an equation, which is different. So you can't have an equal sign. So go ahead, check the next 4, figure out which ones are meaningful collections of numbers and variables and signs of operations, but do not have equal signs. Go ahead and circle those. And you should find that these 3 are all expressions, but B is not because it is actually an equation. And the difference between an equation and an expression in math can be important.